Today on episode 151 of Typical Chicago Fans, we have Sinkers and Floaters, the TCF Sports Minute, our World Series preview, overrated or underrated, the NFL Week 8 pick show, and the TCF top 3 of Halloween candy. Let's roll. Hello and welcome to episode 151 of Typical Chicago Fans, brought to you by our incredible sponsor, Connect Roasters Coffee. Make sure to find us on Twitter at typical_Chicago. Head to Facebook and Instagram and like those pages as well. Go on over to our YouTube channel. Just type in Typical Chicago Fans and subscribe there for all of our content in video form. Wherever you get your podcasts, we are there, whether that's Google Podcasts, Apple podcast, Spotify, Spreaker, like I said, wherever you get them, we are there. Make sure you subscribe, rate, and review. You can find me on Twitter at BoomyTCF, but also make sure to follow the gentleman that I am joined with tonight. That is Zach at ZLiliaTCF and Maddie at schools_01. Boys, I keep feeling like we just go back and forth with the weather here. Some weeks it's very fall weather, and then we get like 75 this weekend, and that felt like not fall weather. So you guys holding up out there in these changing temperatures?
I'm all right with the temperature change, but I'm not all right with all the leaves. I'll get to that with my sinker, but it's just, and then it rains, and then it's I think the warm weather is over with. So I think I'm not the biggest fan of the temperature either, as much as it's probably going to start dropping. So I'm all right with fall, but we're kind of getting to the end of it here, I think.
Unfortunately, we all know what's next. Maddie, how are you holding up over there?
Yeah, it's like the one task of, landscaping and maintenance around your house and yard that I can't stand is leaf pickup. It drives me nuts every year. It gets worse and worse every year too. So I don't know. I'm not ready for that part of it.
It is the one thing I am very thankful I've never had to do. I've never raked leaves, I don't think, ever in my life.
What a deadbeat are you?
I live in the country. I don't care.
There's
winds that come through, and all the leaves from my yard are now about 100 yards that way.
That's
in
the
field,
way to do it. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Once you mow in the spring, anyway, you'll be good to go.
Exactly, for sure. Let's go ahead and jump into things, and that is, of course, our sinkers and floaters. My first sinker, I technically have two. That's me and technology, because I'm fighting a losing battle tonight. We're about 45 minutes behind from when we were supposed to start recording, and I about put a brand new computer through a wall. It's a struggle, and it's been a not great day as it is. So some technology about got thrown, but we're here now, and that's all that matters. My real sinker is music festivals. If anyone listened to like what a lot of people call screamo, and heavy metal, back in like the early mid 2000s, late 2000s. There was a festival this weekend out in Las Vegas called When We Were Young, or When You Were Young. I can't remember exactly which one. Biggest names in that kind of genre. Like My Chemical Romance was one of the headliners, Paramore. But Saturday got canceled due to high winds in Las Vegas. Apparently it was pretty windy. I don't know. I can't say for certain enough. Was it windy enough to cancel a giant day of music festival? But that's what happened. It did go off on Sunday, and they announced next year's tour. So, but that also being said, another big music festival is back in the news, and that was the documentary one, Firefest. Billy McFarland is now out of prison and is hinting on his social media about possibly bringing Firefest back. So if you want to jump in on that, feel free and join in with old Billy McFarland.
He says he's going to be bigger than the other one, crazier than the other one. Well, will it be real?
Yeah. Will you be flying?
I would hope it's bigger than the other one, considering the other one didn't happen.
Yeah.
Very true. My sinker, boys, is we already talked about it. We already talked about leaves. Leaves stink. And I live in town now, so it's like, oh man, I don't know what to do with them. Like, you rake one day, you put them at the end of the driveway. Or we have this thing where it goes around town and it'll suck up all the leaves. You put them in a certain spot, But then the next day there's just more leaves. I'm like, when does it end? When does
the
it end?
never-ending
It
chore.
never ends. It's insane.
Yeah, I don't envy people living in town when it comes to this.
And then they get
stinks.
wet. Oh, when they're wet. Ugh. The worst.
Yeah, it sounds miserable.
I'm going into to mine, boys, and it's mountain climbers. And mountain climbing especially is obviously an activity that's built in with a lot of risk, such as falling down the mountainside and plummeting to your death, or cord snapping and boom, you're gone, or a myriad of other issues. One I never thought you would have had is an attack by a bear, though, while you're actually scaling a mountain. And came across this one from Billy Football from Pardon My Take, his Twitter account. He sent this tweet out, shared a video, and it was this mountain climber that was attacked literally by a black bear while he was hanging on the side of the mountain. And it was terrifying film. Gotta watch it though. Must watch video, in my opinion. The sound, Zach, I think, is gonna kill the sound for us, so we can kind of walk you through the people who are not watching on YouTube. But mountain climbers climbing up the side. He's got his GoPro on. All of a sudden, a black bear comes out of nowhere and starts climbing up the side of the mountain. He's trying to beat him with his fists, his kick. He's kicking him, trying to get this thing off him. This bear is relentless. Keeps going down, pops back up, jumps up again, tries to get this guy by the foot. Absolutely wild footage from the side of the mountain. The first time I watched it, my heart was like stopping, just out of fear, like total fear of what this guy had to be feeling. Unbelievable film, like to be able to get like footage like that anymore. That kind of side of this day and age, being technology everywhere, is kind of cool. I'm not gonna lie, but
it's also really wild that this guy is able to climb mountains with beach ball sized cojones like that. Yeah. I mean, Jesus,
dude,
that would be unreal to encounter that and then do that. I don't think. I guess in an instinct you would do that, but I don't think I would.
Survival mode.
Well, it's a pissed off bear too, because apparently there was like a cub in the area too. So it was a mama bear that was getting protective, and they're gonna not fucking stop when they think you're a threat. And how you think I'm a threat? Like, I'm hanging by this cable on the side of a mountain here, and that's about all I got. So I'm not a threat at this point, except my own self. So thanks a lot, mama bear.
That is absolutely
insanity, though. How I'd be shitting myself. It would be insane. Like that.
And then you have to keep hiking. Then
then you get down, and then that thing's waiting for you too. You know it. Oof. Stalking you.
No thanks. I'll move to my floater, and that is twins. We all know and love twins around here, but the city of Igbo Ora in Nigeria claims to have the most abundant, or the largest abundancy of twins in the city southwest of Nigeria's capital. They have about 200,000 people, and they have a giant festival every year for twins, and they get well over 1,000 sets of twins, and they claim to be to have the most amount of twins in the world. So pretty wild that it's fairly small. I mean, 200,000 people isn't small, but I mean, I'm just scrolling through the pictures here on AP, and there are just an insane amount of twins in this, fairly larger city. So they have a festival every year where apparently twins fly in from around the world. But Igbo Ora, Nigeria, shout out to the twin capital of the world.
That would be, I think, weird to go to, honestly.
Yeah, you talk to a guy for like 10 minutes, and then this other guy that looks exactly like it, you're like, wait, didn't I just meet you? And he's like, no, that was my twin Bill.
That'd be something else.
You got to stay sober at that, or you're going to talk forever.
Yeah, you'd be very confused. My floater, though, I think we all understand this. It's sweatshirt season, boys. You put a sweater on, a crew neck. You can put a sweatshirt on. It's slimming. You put a sweatshirt on, a coat over the sweatshirt.
It's our time to shine. That's just about what it comes down to. So we can actually not look like a fucking exploded can of biscuits. That's nice.
Guys built like us thrive in the fall, baby.
Yeah, we love this time of year.
We sure do. Maddie, you got a floater for us this week?
Yeah, it's college basketball season's back, and so are the Tar Heels boys. Preseason numero uno. After that late season run where they won like 17 straight to go all the way to the national title game, bringing back most of everybody. Sports Illustrated running back the Dean Smith cover from the 81-82 season with Hubert Davis in the current roster. So pretty cool cover. I like the way they did the throwback to that. And I'm a little bit of a sucker for Dean Smith, so can't go wrong with that in my opinion. But pretty pumped about college basketball just in general. Carolina is going to be awesome. So I don't know about you guys, but can't wait.
Well, if you're a sports fan, college basketball is the best because there's college basketball on almost every single channel.
Yeah, it's great too.
Like
Mountain West, fucking MAC games, like it's just some of those shit conferences are great to watch too.
And like
Ivy League buckets on Friday night.
Yeah, well, Matt, you nailed it. Yeah, you get the Mountain West and the WAC and all those teams playing at 11 o'clock at midnight, but you also get your random like NEC or the MAAC that will do like a random 1 p.m. start.
Well,
and
don't forget the West Coast Conference either, though. You get the midnight starts with St. Mary's. Some of those fucking teams are fun to watch too. Yeah,
so you could legitimately on almost, it feels like any given day of the week, get a game from like 11 a.m. until 1 a.m.
And it's awesome. It's 2 hours. It's knocked out. It's it's a 2-hour sport. It's in and out. It's great.
It is a thing of beauty. Let's move into the TCF Sports Minute. Of course, I'll let you guys take over here. I'm gonna jump on into it. The Bears big win Monday night.
Talk about the Bears, Mr. minus 13.5.
Oh, that was a typo. Don't be silly. You know better than that.
I think it's still lost.
Yeah.
Yes, it did. It did.
But yeah, the Bears looked awesome. Justin Fields, he looked like the quarterback that we want him to be. He was making plays with his feet. He was making plays with his arm. The Bears
game plan was perfect.
Oh, perfect. It looked like the coach actually said, "Hey, we're gonna take what the quarterback can do, and we're gonna make a game plan around it."
There were designed runs. They got him outside. They ran play action. When you're running the ball for 230 yards or whatever it was as a team, play action is going to be your best friend. And they executed. Fields was on point with so many of his throws. Had the one pick. It was a batted ball.
I love the two running back system.
Well, that and just Khalil Herbert is starting to look like that guy's got like a different gear. When he hits that hole, he's like he flips the switch and he's like got fucking turbo mode, man. Like that guy's quick. And Darnell Mooney has made some big plays the last couple of weeks at times too. He had to drop at the goal line when they lost a couple of weeks ago, and since then he's had the one-handed catch down near the end zone a couple of weeks ago, and the play along the sidelines last night. The guy he's not a number one in my opinion, but he's just got that ability to make some big plays when you do need it. So it's like when Fields is playing well, Mooney is that much better also too as a result. So kind of nice to see those guys develop a little bit more chemistry too as the season's going on.
N'Keal Harris,
big one.
And how about Tevin Jenkins too? Pro Football Focus, I think, has him as like the 5th best guard in the league right now. Braxton Jones, the number one rookie left tackle.
I thought he was hurt. Last night.
Dude, that dude's he's a mauler in the running game, dude. He's a monster. He's a bad motherfucker too. He fights people every play. It's great.
He seems to like take enjoyment out of doing the extra stuff, like
that guy wants to hurt you every snap.
Yeah.
Well, you can see bad intentions.
I have to say something. I gotta say something about this Patriots team. Bailey Zappi is not this amazing quarterback, I don't think.
Yeah, it's amazing how a couple plays later, everybody on fucking Twitter was like, "Oh yeah, maybe we jumped the gun a little bit on saying Bailey Zappi's the future."
And the fact that they booed Matt Jones after a few plays, He just came back from an injury. Then they just went nuts when Zappy came in. He had one good throw where the defense pretty much broke down, and he didn't make anything spectacular. I didn't think he played that good at all.
Well, they had the back-to-back touchdown drives, and it's like, okay, so that everybody was popping off then, and then all of a sudden the wheels just fell off again, and it was like, okay, this guy, it's not Mac Jones, it's not Bailey Zappi.
I think it's crazy.
It's not a great roster right now.
It's like, you don't understand. Like, this has to be like they game played for Mac Jones probably because they thought, oh, he's going to start. And then when they bring Zappi in, they're going to have to kind of figure it out on the fly. And then when they do, that's when they shut him down because he's not this just amazing quarterback. I think the Patriots want him to be. He's not Tom Brady.
Yeah. Right. I think we can all agree there. Oh, you're saying that Boston sports fans were being irrational and being annoying? Shocker there.
Even at that, I know Bill Belichick's this great coach or whatever, but come on, like, why make that change right like that? Like, you got to – then they said it wasn't performance-based. You know what I mean? It was definitely performance-based.
Oh, 100%. Bears with a big one coming up on Sunday. They travel to Dallas. How are we feeling? How you guys thinking the Bears going to give the Cowboys a run?
I think they can. I think the defense plays well again, especially the numbers, like 9.5. I just think that this defense is playing really well. Roquan Smith had himself a day, played really, really well. And I think that they're really starting to find something in this coaching system, whatever, is finally looks like they know what they're doing.
Absolutely. You get just like you guys say, you just got to stick around. You're sitting at 3-4, you hang around, you win some games, and you're looking at a 500 record, God knows what can happen.
To think about the Vikings
they get to play
game.
Green Bay again. They get to play the Lions. So.
Yeah, seriously, you're not wrong. Pretty favorable schedule.
But really, they had that Vikings game. They had a chance to at least make it a game, and then they had that fumble. Like, that was a huge game.
Yeah.
Who was the one just recently? I know it's been a long day, and I'm blanking. Who was the one they lost at the goal line on that Mooney catch?
Oh, Washington.
That's right.
You know how it feels to lose to them.
Oh, yeah, exactly. It's recent, very recent. So, no, you shore up a couple things, and they're outside of a couple games. I think Green Bay might be their only real blowout,
which looks horrible right now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and you're there, you're in all these games. You've got the opportunity. You stay in games, you win a couple late. You're sitting there, late season around 500, and you catch lightning in a bottle there.
While we've got you, give us a quick Boomy status update on where the Packers stand.
Oh, this team stinks, dude. I'm about done with this team. I think that Big Cat said it best. They're doing this offensive system to cater to Aaron Rodgers when Aaron Rodgers doesn't have the weapons. You have Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon in the backfield, and you don't use them. Aaron Jones is so underutilized, it's ridiculous. You've got wide receivers that, they are what they are, and I feel like Rodgers is playing like he's still throwing to Devontae Adams, and he's not. You have to be able to, and I get he could make the argument I'm the grizzled vet, it should be my way, but you have to change the way you're playing, and he's just not doing that. It just feels like he's being hard headed, and I don't know.
Oh, not just Aaron Rodgers.
No, weird. Who would have thought?
Yeah, who would ever saw this coming? The guy who debated retirement. It seems like the last 3 years. So I do think
ayahuasca.
Yeah, I do still think, we talked about, the division is not strong, and there is an opportunity. And it's at the end of the day, he's still Aaron Rodgers. And if he can make those adjustments and they can feed Aaron Jones the ball like they should, and that's how they blew the Bears out, right? Didn't Aaron Jones have something like 18 carries for 100+ yards? That's the way it should be. And they're not doing that. So you can get back to it, but you got to do it quick because you got the Bills this weekend, and that's not going to be an easy task at all. So, time to look in the mirror, boys. Go ahead and move on to the Bulls. Sitting at 2-2, take down the Boston Celtics at the UC on Monday night. 2-2, not bad, not great, not terrible. Where are you guys looking at the Bulls right now?
A good team, a good win against a good team. Even though when they played the Cavs, the opener, that was bad. But they really looked like they played well together. Zach LaVine played pretty well. He's been playing limited minutes. DeRozan always consistent. Ayo looking really good as the starting point guard this year. But I just have one thing to say. What is Patrick Williams doing? It doesn't seem like he's even trying out. Like, his defense is so bad right now. It just seems like he gets blown by every time. He doesn't look like he's really like asserting himself on offense. I just don't see what he's trying to do this year.
Yeah, it's concerning for a kid that was touted when he was drafted as being this, next defensive player of the year kind of guy. And it's not looking great this year. He's struggled. Now, in his defense, he's 21 years old and he's still, figuring things out. But if the Bulls are going to compete in the East, which I'm not convinced that they are, they've got to have more out of him. And if that means taking him out of the starting lineup, and plugging him in to get him more comfortable. But like, dude, this is is this his second or his third year?
Third.
Like, you should have this figured out by now, dude. Like, let's go. You were a first round draft pick. Like, you've been given the opportunities. I know he was hurt quite a bit, but like, you've been around the game long enough. Like, let's get it going. It's time to roll. You're a big boy now. So frustrating.
Yeah, I had high hopes for him, so I'd like to see him kind of flip the switch a little bit. Still tell this team's going to miss Lonzo Ball this year. There's just no doubt about that.
Have missed him. I feel like from what I've watched, like, you can definitely tell like this team is still, there's still pieces missing, and obviously a big piece of that is Lonzo Ball. And I'm not holding my breath. I don't think we're going to see him for a long time. So
it feels like they're trending a lot like last year, where they're going to start off good. They're going to start off, kind of playing pretty well and have a good record to start off the year, and kind of just slowly fall back to the pack. Second half of the year. It's just kind of how it has that same feel.
Definitely. And you're seeing it already. Zach said, about the Cavaliers, like, they came out on fire. Like, this is not your, the East that it was, 10, 12, 13 years ago.
Yeah.
The East is different.
But on the other hand, you got to respect that they got down huge to the Celtics. I mean, the Celtics could not miss to start that game.
Damn good team.
And they came back and they ended up beating them by, I think, like 15 or 20 or something like that.
Yeah, I think I got home like early second quarter, I want to say, and it was a pretty sizable deficit, and then they just start clicking, and they end up winning by 20, and I think that Boston pulled their starters out with 5 minutes to go. And, that's what you got to do, though. You got to compile those. It can't just be these spots where you come in on a Monday night and you're taking care of it. You've got to compile these wins and these quality wins. And if you want to compete in the East, you have to make this more consistent and not just sit here and play the 500 game all year. So we'll see. Another team kind of playing the 500 game right now, the Blackhawks, sitting at 3-2. They're playing right now. Maddie, what do you got on the Hawks? I mean, I'll be honest. I think they're leading right now as we record. They come to 4-2. I'll be honest.
They won.
They did win.
Yeah, they were
4-2 winner. I would have lost a bet on this team after 6 games being 4-2.
Playing very well. Luke Richardson looks like he's got a really good grasp of how to coach in this league, and that's one of the more reassuring signs. And I know it's 6 games into the year, but they're 4-2, and I can tell you nobody in the world thought that this team at any point of the season was going to be playing 4-2 hockey,
and rightfully so.
Yeah, I mean, so it's a testament to him that he's got him prepped and ready to go to start the season and kind of playing well. Tyler Johnson's played really well. He's got like 3 or 4 goals already to start the season. So when you're getting guys like that, they do have some decent veteran talent. So like guys that have been around the league for a while and maybe didn't, necessarily live up to their potential. Like guys like Tenorti and Max Domi, things like that. Guys like that. But Tyler Johnson, he was hurt a lot last year, but he's been productive in the NHL for the Tampa Bay Lightning for a long time. So they've got guys who know how to play in this league. So it's not surprising. I guess it shouldn't be surprising that they're playing well, but it's not that they just have beaten other bad teams. That's kind of how it started. But they went out and beat Florida tonight. Florida's a cup contender, so
yeah,
had them up 3-0 and let them back into the game 3-2, and it got an empty netter late. So 4-2 winner against Florida is a good win. I don't care who it is. So you got to be happy with the way the season started. The flip side, it brings down the hopes of getting a guy like Connor Bedard, who's like a franchise player, who they were angling to get if they could steal the lottery. So that's the trade-off to it too.
I understand what you mean by that, but I think of like all the sports, the NHL is one of those sports where you could like have a sneaky awesome year and make the playoffs, and anything can happen in the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, it's hot goalie as much as anything. You've seen teams ride a hot goalie from an 8 seed all the way to the cup. And so it's not unheard of at all. Like, you're right. So getting in the playoffs as much as anything is big. I don't think they've got the talent at goalie, even if, I don't think they have the guy that can just put a team on his back regardless. But again, they've got guys who know how to play a scrappy game.
Well, isn't the starter
they're playing
right
a
now?
dirty game a little bit, so it's a kind of gunk it up, and it's not that fast, smooth, clean game that they were winning cups with. But hey, win games, man. That's the key, and they're doing it right now.
Well, tonight they think they were outshot by like almost 15.
Yeah, 12 or 13 shots. I think by the end of it was pretty significant. And again, it's a Florida Panthers are a good team. They're loaded with talent, top to bottom in that roster. So that's you're going to get outshot by teams like that.
They give up 2 quick goals right there in the third period, and you're like, oh, they're going to tie it up.
Yeah, weathered the storm, and that's what you want to see. Yeah, it's what you want to see. So, like I said, Richardson's got that team playing with a little bit of confidence, and maybe playing with a little bit of that. Fuck you! Everyone thinks we're going to suck, so here we go. And that can be a benefit at times.
The Bears are winning. Team. The Bulls are winning. The Blackhawks are winning.
Been a good week. Good week in Chicago sports. We can't be upset about it.
Something else we can't be upset about, and that's delicious coffee, Matthew. And that's been thanks to our partners at Connect Roasters Coffee. They have the best coffee around that you're going to find. They work with our guy Dom Frederick and Ian Happ, so it's quality coffee. Those guys would not promote bad coffee. And Zach loves it, and Zach doesn't drink bad coffee. So make sure you check out their website, connectroasters.com. Follow them on Twitter at Connect Roasters. If you are in the Wrigleyville area and swing through the Obvious Shirt store, there is Connect Roasters Coffee there. They also have it at Foxtrot Market, Dom's, and some other locations in the city, but you can find those on their website. So make sure you check them out at connectroasters.com and at Connect Roasters on Twitter. Shout out to the best coffee around that you're going to find. All right, boys, it's that time of year, so what's back, and that is the Fall Classic. The World Series kicks off not till Friday. A little bit of a break here, but we've got the Phillies and the Astros. This is everybody predicted. Phillies kind of coming out of nowhere, taking care of the National League. Great NLCS for the Phils, and they will go up against the Houston Astros. So let's jump into it, boys. Let's start off first and foremost. Who's winning this thing? Because I think it's easy.
I think the Astros are going to, and I want the Phillies to.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Maddie, what about you?
I do think the Phillies are going to win. I think they're riding something a little bit crazy right now. Bryce Harper is kind of just saying, fuck it, I'm going to win this World Series myself. It's just kind of how it feels. And sometimes the best player in the sport just puts his team on his back and carries him. I think that might be what Harper's doing.
It's definitely there's something to be said about the magic that is happening in Philly right now, and that lineup is playing really, really well, hitting the ball well, obviously with Harper, But I truly do think, and as of right now, if I'm not mistaken, the Astros have a perfect playoffs. They have not lost a game yet. Do you guys? Does that sound right?
They have not lost yet. No, they have, and that for
swept
them too. They've been
everybody?
in close. Yeah, but they had tight games with the Mariners, and then obviously every game was tight
Well,
with
yeah,
the
wasn't there?
Yankees
There was
too.
that game where they hit the 3-run walk off
In the first game against the Mariners, yeah, in the bottom of the ninth, 2
with
outs.
2 outs.
Yeah.
Jordan hit that fucking ball about 5 miles.
I don't know if you guys listened to the interview with Dan Herron on PMT. He said that Jordan is the hardest player that he's ever scouted because
Hardest
he can
hitter,
do
I thought.
everything. Sorry, would I say pitcher?
No, you just said hardest player that he scouted.
Yeah, the hardest hitter he's ever scouted through the times of him playing baseball. He said Jordan is like the hardest because he can do everything.
Yeah, he's like a perfect hitter. He really is.
He's special. I want, in my heart of hearts, I want to say that the Phillies are going to win this series. I just don't think it's going to happen. I think the Astros are a better team, and I want to say that the Magic's going to continue in Philly, but it's so hard to bet against these Astros as much as I hate them and despise them. But I really do. I hope Philly's got it in the tank to continue to come out and hit the way they have. They've pitched really well. But, man, this Astros team just seems daunting. But I also thought the same thing, excuse me, when the Phillies took that. Was it the Braves?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, in my opinion, it's just a bit ridiculous, like for a team like Houston that can go from Carlos Correa to Jeremy Pena. Like you
makes no sense.
Stuff like that, and that's how you end up going to World Series after World Series after World Series. So it's not shocking that this team is there. Their roster's loaded. Their pitching. I don't think is as good as it was the year they won it. Thank you. We needed that goal from the Sharks there, by the way. But no, I just feel like there's something special about this Phillies run that they're on right now. Sometimes that's all you need.
You got to ride the hot hand right now. That's the Phillies. I think we all kind of hope that it's going to be the Phillies, but we shall see. Moving on, like I've said, boys, it is fall, so I want to do some overrated, underrated of fall things here. I want to start off with something me and Zach did on Sunday, and that is some fall golf. Is that overrated, underrated, or perfectly rated?
Underrated, I think. I think it's the best time to golf.
Maddie?
Properly rated. I think it's properly rated as very good.
I think I'm going to agree with Matt here because I think universally, especially amongst golfers, know that
summer sucks. Like when it's hot, no one wants to play golf when it's 95 out. You know what I mean?
When you get out of the car knowing you're going to sweat, like you're going to do it, but it's not going to be as enjoyable. I think it's pretty well known that the fall is the best time. I will say there are definitely some cons that we don't talk about. Like Zach and my brother had to hit a shot after they cleared 3 feet of leaves to find their ball and then hit their ball. There's definitely some cons there. We obviously played on Sunday and it was insanely windy. We had about 5 of the 18, or no, maybe it was only 3, but still an enough amount of holes to remember where the pin was blown out of the hole and laying on the ground in front of the hole. So I would say properly rated. Couple things to work on, there, but I do think that it's it is very enjoyable and the weather's very nice. I had on khaki shorts and a sleeveless or short sleeve hoodie t-shirt kind of thing. So perfectly rated is where I'll go. Let's go to our next one, and that is Halloween parties. Where do you guys sit on Halloween?
Overrated. I do not like them.
Oof. Maddie?
Underrated. I think costume parties can be good if they're done correctly. If they're done correctly and people actually put some fucking effort into it, it can be really fun. I'm
on your side again here too, Maddie. I love a good costume party. Especially like you said, people that put a little effort into it. And I don't know, I'm just a sucker for the Halloween themed dishes and stuff like that. They're silly, but I don't know. I enjoy it. I enjoy Halloween parties a lot more than New Year's parties. I don't know.
Yeah, sure. It's not even close. Again, it's also something a lot of times you can still do if it's at a house, like a house Halloween party, you can do it outside, inside, garage, patio, all of it combined, where later on in the year, that's like that's like literally your last like chance for anything outside entertainment wise for a while.
Amen. Let's jump to our next one, and that is hayrack rides. Anybody have a strong opinion on hayrack rides?
Overrated, I would say.
I don't want to sit
Overrated.
that close to people.
Not even that. You're doing max of what, 10 miles an hour, and you're just kind of
driving
there.
through
I don't want to sit on a. I don't want to sit in a bale of hay.
You're driving through a harvested cornfield. Like, what the fuck are we doing here? You know, like
on a bale of hay.
Right. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, I'm with you guys.
You can
Not
fall
a fan.
off those pretty easily too.
Yeah, no, I'm zero interest in that.
We're all on board there. Bonfires, overrated, underrated, properly rated.
Properly rated is awesome.
Yeah, properly rated. They're beloved, but I mean, they're properly rated.
I have a solo stove too, so like having the smokeless fire pit. Oh my god,
Maddie, I know we've talked about this before, and Zach, I know me and you have said this many times about how they're always listening. Ever since Matt told us about the smokeless one, I have been getting ads for it for like the last 2 months straight. So I am well on my way to getting one of those.
They're fantastic. The solo stove is great. I've heard good things about it. I think it's like the Breo, BREO is another one that's like a little bit pricey, but it's also very nice too. Solo stove came out with just a tower too. One of like the ones that you set out.
Yeah.
It's the tower that's got the top on it that expands the heat out. Like it's a 10-foot radius and it's a wood burner still too. And it's so it's the same technology that they have. Smokeless as well. Looks phenomenal. Super expensive, but beautiful thing if you like to be outside in the winter. The late fall, early spring.
I would almost make an argument about bonfires being underrated in the sense that like it all depends on your group of friends and the amount of people, like the amount of times you have it. And I feel like there's a lot more like communal aspect that you can get if you have them more often. Like I think it's something.
I can't stress it enough either. Like using decent wood, it doesn't need to be like perfect wood or by any means, but like using like trash ass like garbage wood. It's all nasty and smoky and shit. Like if you use like even just decent like wood from like the aged a little bit, let it dry out some, get a fucking good fire going. It's awesome.
Absolutely. And last one, I think we'd all agree on fall weather. Overrated, underrated, properly rated.
I'd say properly rated.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah.
Properly rated is perfect.
Yeah, I agree. It is the best.
It's the best season. It's let's be real. We've talked about it plenty. It's the best season. It's just the way it is.
Absolutely. Let's go ahead and jump into our NFL Week 8 pick show. We are currently run through last week. Somebody on this show forgot to submit their picks and finished 1-0. And I just want to point out, I hope he listens to this. I don't know how much you guys look at the spreadsheet, but for those of you that don't know, the guy that is also involved in these picks is colorblind. Very, very colorblind, actually. And sometimes he goes in and changes the colors, and they don't match. Because I put the winners in green and the losers in red. And right now, the winners from last night are currently in yellow. So I will make sure I have to change that. So let's run down last week. Zach.
Is the dress blue or brown or whatever?
It was brown. With that being said, we were at the golf course once, and this individual went up to another friend of ours who was wearing a very blue shirt and said, "Hey, Mason, nice pink shirt." And we were all like, "What are you talking about?"
His eyes are that bad?
Yeah. He's one of the most colorblind people I've ever met. Very, very, very colorblind. Anywho, Zach forgot to submit his picks. So Zach is he went 1-5. He did have the Bears last night. So we gave him that win.
It's the only win I needed.
That counted for all 6 in Zach's book. So Zach is currently at 16-21-1. Matt went 2-4. He is at 24-18. And Pigoy and I both went 3-3. Pigoy is at 23-19, and I am at 20-22. So Maddie's separating himself just a little bit here. But does anybody want to get started on their noon game picks?
I'll go first. Bears plus 9.5. I'm not saying they're going to win, but that's a pretty big number against a Dallas team that I still am not very impressed by. So I'm going to take Bears plus 9.5, and then I'm also going to take Jets plus 1.5 at home against the Patriots, who we just saw play on Monday Night Football. Did not look good, and this Jets team just traded for James Robinson. I think the Jets team is plus 1.5 at home against the Patriots. Makes no sense to me.
Hard to argue with you there. Maddie, do you want to go? I'm trying to pull something up here.
Sure, I'll go. I'm going to take the first one I've taken is game I've already actually bet myself this week is the Falcons minus 4.5. Carolina sucks. I don't care that they won last week or not. They didn't beat a good Tampa Bay team as it is. I don't think the quarterback situation, whoever's going to play, is going to be, what you want for, for Carolina, whether it's Walker or Mayfield, if he's going to be healthy or not. Atlanta is just one of those teams too. They're seemingly finding a way to move the ball down the field with Mariota, and I like the way that defense has been playing at certain stretches. They got ran up and down the field by Cincinnati, but a lot of teams do. So I'm going to take Atlanta minus 4.5 there. I'm going to take a dog. Another one. Just the line seems weird to me. Is Miami? I'm going to take the Lions against Miami. The Lions getting 3.5 at home. Weird line. It seems like you would think Miami should go in there and bury them. So it's going to be one of those stinky lines that I like to just go against. So I'm going to take the Lions there.
All right. I hadn't even looked at this till we started talking. Go ahead, and I will take I hate to do this, and I think that this team's slowly trying to kill me. But Green Bay plays at noon, correct?
No, they play Sunday night.
Sunday night. I've got my phone over half my screen here, so I'm struggling to see things. Where's the other one I had? Detroit plus 3.5. They just still seem like a team that's trying to stay in games, and I think Miami's a better team, but I just feel like at some point these Lions, they're just scrappy enough to stick in games. And
Dan Campbell revenge game too.
Yeah, that is true. And let's see, who do I want in my second pick? Oh, there's some ugly games this week. I'll take the Vikings minus 4 at home against the Cardinals. I'm done betting on the Cardinals. They have made me so mad this year, and I just don't think they're that good of a football team. Minnesota going to win that one by a touchdown, I think, there. Zach, what do you got in the afternoon?
I have the 49ers is it minus 1.5? No, is it plus 1.5?
I thought it was minus 1.5.
At the Rams. This Rams team, I don't know about them. I do
That's
not
a 3
know
o'clock.
about them. Yeah, where's the 3 o'clock?
Oh, I'm sorry. Who did you have for the noon?
Bears and Jets.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. Jeez, I totally missed. I'm trying to keep track of them. I totally missed those two. My bad.
No, you're good. And then I have the Commanders plus 3 in Indianapolis. New quarterback. I don't know what's going on there. They just benched
Sam Ellinger, baby.
So the Commanders and Tyler Heineke is going to go in there and win that game, I think.
Whoever said a lot of ugly games is fucking hit the nail on that. Oh. It's a choppy ass Sunday. I'm going to keep taking a team that I've bet a lot for some reason this year, and it's been very helpful for me. I'm going to take Geno and the Seattle Seahawks laying 3 at home against the Giants. It's the battle of teams that I think have overachieved. I'm gonna keep
They
riding
got better.
Geno.
They got better after they traded Russell Wilson.
It's wild, absolutely wild. It's another one of those lines that it feels like everybody and their brother should be jumping on the Giants as a 3-point dog against Seattle. So give me Seattle for that reason alone. For another 3:00 game, I keep going back and forth. I'm going to ride with you. I'm going to take Washington. It's one of those games. Sam Ellinger stinks. Taylor Heineke is oddly keeps that team in games. I don't know how, whether it's the playoffs against the Rams or, shitty Indianapolis team on a fucking Sunday afternoon. I'm going to take him. So I'm going Washington. I wish it was still the football team instead of the Commanders. I stand by that.
It's a weird start time for a game. It's a weird start time for a game in Indianapolis.
Yeah.
Matt, who was your second noon pick? I'm sorry.
I had Atlanta and Detroit.
Good deal. Sorry, I forgot to type that in. My afternoon, I'm going to go against Maddie here. I got the Giants +3. I think the Giants are just a better football team. I understand that the Seahawks are overachieving. The Giants are overachieving too. I just feel like they're going to find a way, and just keep it chugging. I like the Giants.
I want to say one thing too. Can everybody stop sucking Brian Dable's dick already? Like, this is a little bit excessive right now. Like, it's just a lot. Like, yeah, it's a lot right now. He's been great. I mean, like, let's just tone it down a little bit. Matt Nagy won Coach of the Year. So his first year. So
people forget that. And I think the other one, a team I've bet on a lot and been pretty successful on this year, the Titans, -2. The Titans are hosting arguably one of the worst teams in professional football. I don't care who's in, who's out. The Titans -2 traveling to Houston. I feel like that might be my lock of the week here if I had to make one. I just think Tennessee's a better team and Houston's terrible. They're going to win this game by 2. That line stinks, so that does worry me a little bit, but go ahead and give me.
That's a ratty line.
Yeah, and I like the Titans. I don't know what it is. I keep betting on them, and they seem to be, they're going to win this division no matter what, and they seem to keep covering for me, so I'll stick with them. Sunday night, I think we all know where we're all going with this. The Packers are a 10-plus point underdog for the first time in 10 years in Aaron Rodgers' career. I'm going Packers. I see it +11 right now. Where are you guys at?
I'm going Bills. I think it's going to be a blowout. I'm not even saying that because it's the Packers. I'm just saying I think that they are just setting themselves up for a big blowout on Sunday night.
I don't think so.
I actually think I'm going to.
I mean,
go ahead. I'm sorry. No, that was my bad.
I think Aaron Rodgers has lost his team. He said nothing but even today he was saying how if the people aren't playing well, we have to sit them. Well, guess what? You're stuck with these wide receivers. Maybe stop trashing them.
Yeah, I'm actually going to take Green Bay on this one. It's not like I feel great about it. It's just number. It's literally only for the simple fact that I've never seen. I don't think anyone's ever. No one's ever seen Aaron Rodgers a double-digit dog. So that's my only argument. It's nothing else. Buffalo's a well-oiled machine right now, so it's not like I have a ton of faith in this one. But I'm going to take.
It's a big year for Aaron Rodgers, though. He's never been this big of underdog, but he's never lost these kind of games like to the Commanders at Green Bay.
Was totally agree.
Green Bay?
No, that game was in D.C.
London.
Washington.
Wasn't it London?
No, they lost to the Giants in London.
The Commanders, who they just lost to.
Yeah, that was in D.C.
D.C., okay. And then they lost to the Jets at home, okay.
They lost to the Jets at home, that's correct. Monday night,
murdered by the Jets.
Yeah, that was ugly.
Sauce wore the cheese head, and it was over. He killed the cheese head.
Enemy number 1. Send him to jail. Monday night, Bengals, Browns. This one's easy to me. The Browns are god-awful. Jacoby Brissett stinks. Give me the Bengals -3.5.
I think the Bengals are back playing well because I think you saw with Joe Burrow, no really training camp, no preseason really. He kind of was feeling it out the first few weeks, and now I think he is back playing how he was at the end of last year.
They're hot right now, that's for sure. Maddie, who you got?
It's very hard for me to fade an interdivision home dog. I don't know who I'm actually going to bet on this game because I know I'll end up betting it because it's a Monday night game. Right now, I'm going to take Cleveland plus the 3.5, and I love that one too. You can tell I'm just enamored.
Yeah, we can hear it in your voice. You just feel dirty. That line does kind of stink.
Some of those
Cleveland
games make you feel like you need to take a fucking shower after you pick them. And this is one of them. That's such a dog shit team, just a bad roster, bad coaching staff. And it's like, I'm going to go against Joe Burrow, who just went up and down the field against Atlanta last week with Jamar Chase. So it's like,
yeah.
But for some reason, give me the field goal.
I'm going to 100% watch as many games as I can this week. I always do in the NFL. But the Sunday morning or Sunday noon, 3 p.m., not very good. Then the Monday and Sunday could both end up being pretty bad games.
The London morning game on Sunday is brutal. Jacksonville and Denver. I mean, I talk about two teams that I've bet every week.
London
and I
games
keep
are there
losing.
this year? How many
Couple
London
more,
games are they going to have?
I think there's 6
My
total.
goodness.
Give me one every week. I love them.
Oh, yeah. You wake up and there's just a game on.
Yeah, I'm all in. Check out Sunday morning. It will be posted on Twitter on our the spread of what we have for the day. Let's wrap things up as we always do. We have the TCF top 3, and with Halloween being on Monday, we had to do the top 3 of Halloween candy. Does anybody want to go first?
I'll go first just because it's not like a real.
We all know what you're going to take here.
No. Whoever had the king size candy bars, whoever had those candy bars, those people were the best. I know it's just like it's very broad, but it's all candy bars in a way. But if you had the king size bars and you were giving those things out to kids, you were number one.
You're not taking that as your pick, right?
Yes, that's my pick.
King size. That's not a pick. You can't take every Halloween candy.
No, I'm not. I'm taking the king size. If you had the
I'll take Vita.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Yeah, I'll take king size Hershey's bar because Boomy is annoying.
For my talking about the person who had, I'll take everything in a big size.
Yeah, because the person who had the king size candy bars.
That's not a specific Halloween candy, though.
Whatever, dude. I'll take king size Hershey bar. You've ruined this for me.
Maddie, do you want to go second?
You're muted.
After you unmute yourself.
I'll go third. You go second.
All right. I will go singular Reese's Peanut Butter Cup. That's the all-time number 1. I love Reese's Peanut Butter Cups.
I'm going to go with one that I only see around Halloween time, usually from snagging from my son's Halloween bag, is the peanut butter Snickers. It's not something that you normally get, but it's usually only in the fun size. Like you see them in the yellow. It's a square, though. It's so the peanut butter Snickers is a good, nice little curveball that you don't normally get. Another one is the Take 5. It's a great product. It touches 5 different fillings inside that piece of chocolate, so it's a good mix of everything that you'd want. Makes for a great fun size too for Halloween time. So I'm gonna go with that as my second pick.
Very underrated candy bar right there, Maddie. I got my favorite chocolate, so I'm going to go the other side. I'll take the fun size bags of Sour Patch Kids. Those are the best gummy candy, and then you get the little small bag of those. I'll take both of those all day. Peanut butter cups and Sour Patch Kids, I'm all in on.
I will take Nerds.
Ooh.
And
have you ever had Nerds and ice cream?
Yeah, no. That's a weird experience.
They turn to like frozen little pebbles. They're good because they're like got so much like flavor and pop to them. I like Nerds.
It's a great pick. I
It's
was
another
not
one you don't
expecting
get frequently. So like a Halloween time like treat. It's a good call.
Just give me my last one. Does someone take Reese's cup?
Yeah, that was my pick.
What was my favorite? I'll just take like a. Oh, I'm gonna go random. The Pixie Sticks. Pixie Sticks.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Yes.
There you go.
That's a good choice. Pure sugar in a straw. I like that.
Right to the bloodstream too. That shit'll keep you up for hours.
Hey, definitely. My last pick. What do I want to do here? I'm gonna go with one that I prefer in the fun size. You get the 2-piece, and that's the Kit Kat. Give me the fun size Kit Kat. Pretty basic, but at the same time, 2 bites, it's more than enough.
Yeah, very basic. There we go. Sharks. I'm gonna go with. I want to say something at the honorable mention, so remind me that before we're done. But I'm gonna go. Damn. Tootsie Pop. I like a Tootsie Pop.
Yeah.
You get to hunt for the Indian and the star and the wrapper. It's another one that you tend to only kind of get around Halloween time because you're not going out and buying like a solo Tootsie Pop at like anywhere really at this point in time. So Tootsie Pop is going to be the dark horse for the candy bag that I'm going to grab.
I like those honorable mentions, Maddie. Which one you wanted to bring up?
My favorite candy bar is a Twix. I stand by it. The fun size Twix is trash. It's like an offshoot. It's not the same product. It's just not. There's too much fucking chocolate cap on the ends. There's not enough cookie and caramel. It's just an inferior product.
It almost has like they use like a different shortbread cookie. No, it does have a funky.
It's a double dunked nug that fell off of a broken regular Twix. Is what it feels like.
I agree. I'm with you there. I think all the obvious. Where do you guys stand on Butterfingers? I kind of like Butterfingers.
Love Butterfingers.
All right,
I like Butterfingers a lot.
And the fun size ones are perfect that you get on Halloween because like sometimes a full Butterfinger may be too much for some people, but a couple bites of the crunch. Trying to think of like other sugary ones. I always like bottle caps. I know they're super duper basic, but I've always dug those small like packages of bottle caps.
Trash.
No, wrong.
Trash candy. Fun Dip's good.
Fun Dips, that's another one. Zach, any undrafteds?
Nope.
All right. Well, let us know what we forgot here. And thank you for joining us. This was episode 151 of Typical Chicago Fans, brought to you by our incredible sponsor, Connect Roasters Coffee. Make sure you check them out at Connect Roasters on Twitter and connectroasters.com. You can find us on Twitter at typical_Chicago. Head to Facebook and Instagram and give those pages a like as well. For all of our content in video form, head over to our YouTube channel and subscribe there. Wherever you get your podcast, we are there as well. So make sure you subscribe, rate, and review. You can find Zach on Twitter at ZLiliaTCF and Maddie at schools_01. I am Boomy on Twitter at BoomyTCF. We appreciate you joining us for episode 151 of Typical Chicago Fans. We love you all.
Peace.